The most important control on the iPad is the home button. In this case, as it's held at the moment, it's on the right-hand side. When you hold the iPad upright, the home button is at the bottom. And that's the button you press all the time to get something to happen and to get out of where you don't want to be. At the top of the iPad, when you're holding it upright, is the screen on-off switch. This is quite important to switch the screen off, and you don't need to switch it is all the on-off switch for the entire iPad, but you don't need to switch your iPad off at all, really. Just leave it running all the time. It uses practically no power. There are two volume buttons on the right when you're holding the iPad upright. There is up or down volume. It's very useful to be able to access these without looking, because sometimes you need to quickly turn the volume down or up. There are a number of hidden tricks about how you can operate your iPad. One of them is the switcher. You engage the switcher by one of two methods. You either double click the home button like this, a quick double click, I'll do it again, tap tap, and the switcher appears. The switcher is a view of all of the open windows on your iPad. These are all the applications that are currently operating on my iPad, and they're not using up any power, they're just sitting quietly there. And the purpose of the switcher is that you can switch from one app to another very quickly. So the most recent ones are here, and if I want to go and look back at this newspaper site, I can just tap there and go back, and then double click to get back to the switcher. There's another way of operating the switcher, and that is by swiping up from the bottom of the screen with your finger. Swipe your finger up from the bottom of the screen on the right hand side and then let go. I'll do that again. Swipe up from the bottom and then let go, and all of the screens appear in the switcher. The switcher is quite useful to jump from one application to the next and quickly get back where you were. So I'll go back to Gmail, and there it is. Another useful function of the switcher is that it enables you to shut down any apps that are not working properly. So you just flick them up like that and they are closed. The other method is, another important set of controls is discovered by swiping your finger down from the top right hand corner of the screen. If you're holding the iPad upright in the portrait mode, it's still the top right hand button. So I'll just get rid of that, swipe it down again. So you put your finger on just off the screen and swipe down. It's the same on an iPhone, and you get to see the control center. The control center gives you access to a whole range of controls for your iPad. It's very quick. It's like the dashboard on a car. My control center here probably has more controls in it than you do, because you can add or subtract controls from your control center. Now, some of the important ones, the big sections up here, hold your finger on that and it opens up to show these controls, and you can just tap like that to close. Same with the music control. This little icon means something, so tap it to see, and it shows, for example, that currently sound is coming out of my iPad and not the Apple TV. If you've got earphones plugged in, they will show up here too. All of these controls are worth exploring to see what they do. Valuable ones are the stopwatch, alarm clock, there's a timer over there, there's brightness controls, and so on. It's worth going through all of these controls to see what they do, because some of them are very useful. Now, if you want to change what's in your control center, you go to Settings, and we go then to, up the top of your settings is Control Center here. Tap there in Control Center, and here it says Customize Controls, and here is where you can add or subtract controls. And at the moment, I've got all of these controls switched on, and if I want to get rid of any of them, I tap the little don't go here or no sign, the red one. If I want to add more controls, I tap these and add them. It's worth having a look at them and seeing what the controls do and seeing if you want to have it in your system.